Greetings, outstanding folks, and welcome back. Jervan with a bonus video for today, right after I did my latest practice video. One of the things I ordered just about a few days ago, probably about a week ago, was to buy other trumpet method books to start potentially using once I finish the Edwards Hovey series in a few days. And I ordered them at the same time, but one came earlier than the other because they were separate shipments. I ordered them both off of Amazon. The first one is what's the trumpet players consider the holy grail of trumpet method instruction, the Arban. And with the Arban, one of the things that will need to be done once, at least to get a good start on, is be familiar with the fingerings of all the notes. This method book, it doesn't get too elaborate as far as the range. Everything's in there is in the standard range of the low F sharp to the high C, so it shouldn't be too overwhelming. And it starts off with the so-called first studies that start off with a bunch of whole notes, just getting familiar with the sound of the instrument, sort of like the first few pages of Edwards Hovey did. And they get more complex as you go along, working all 12 different keys eventually, and also has a lot of faster moving things, a lot of ornamental type stuff that features are commonly used for trumpet players working with and solos with an orchestra. But an outstanding book. I used to have one back when I was in college, and I lost it in one of my moves, so getting this as a replacement is really going to be good. And so I'll be doing a lot of work with this. I probably won't video every workout because when I get further along, I'll have practiced several times until I get it down. The other book, also fairly popular among trumpet players, is the Clarke Technical Studies. Fairly short book, probably about the same size as the Edwards Hovey. And one thing about the Clarke Technical Studies, it is designed to help a player develop finger dexterity and endurance and a lot of familiarity. But it's not for a beginning student. I will warn you that. It can get overwhelming if you're not used to playing the trumpet, then you grab one of these, because there are 4 things that are required of a trumpet player's skill level to use the Clarke book. One, you have to have a good amount of endurance and breath control, because most of these studies in the Clarke book are intended to play in the pianissimo dynamic range, really soft, which helps out on the breathing. But a lot of these exercises, you have to go a long way on one breath. That's tough on anybody. The second thing that's required is complete familiarity with all the fingerings of every note on the trumpet. Not only how they would normally show up, but they're in harmonics, such as the normal ones of, say, D sharp and E flat, for example, or less used harmonic and harmonics such as E with F flat, E sharp with F, B sharp with C, or B with C flat, and also the occasional double flats and double sharps. And a trumpet player has to know what he's doing when he sees those, like, oh, and know exactly where to finger it. Another thing that's required in the Clarke studies is you have to be very familiar with playing in all 12 keys. Not only the common ones of C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, G, D, A, and E, but also be able to play in B, which sometimes shows up as a C flat, F sharp, which sometimes shows up as G flat, and D flat, which sometimes shows up as C sharp, because all 12 of the keys are used in there. Another thing that's required of somebody using this just to start out the book is to at least be able to play in the range of the low F sharp to the high C, because high C's used a lot even in the beginning. And on top of that, have even better range than that, because there are some exercises later in the book that require reaching the double G. So needless to say, when it comes to these two books, I'll probably be starting with the Arban first before I mess with the Clarke. But I will certainly keep these two books handy, because it'll help me continue my development on the trumpet. So hopefully you'll find this information handy for those that are thinking about taking up the trumpet or trying to advance to a better level. Until next time, all the best.